into manifestation in a really big way. So I'm here to help you. Hopefully, we will get some interactions today. I love interactions. I'm going to say hello in the chat. We've got a really great topic today, and I can't wait to get into it. So let's get into it. Number one, frustration, anger. It can lead to anxiety, sadness, depression, right? I have suffered from anxiety and depression. I understand exactly how that feels. I have also lived with an anger trigger because of my autism. So I get easily scared or overwhelmed or frustrated. And then I have to make sure that I'm calm enough to actually speak. When I was a kid growing up, people would scare me, or I would sense that something wasn't fair. I was feeling attacked. And as I would try to explain myself, if I got too frustrated, I would cry. So people made fun of me when I would cry. And that would make me really, really angry. So then I would start to scream and yell and be really on the attack. And I learned over the years how to bypass the crying, bypass the screaming, and go right to yelling. Like raise my voice, get very intense, and tell people exactly what I'm thinking. And it became a devastating habit for people skills, for friendships, for business, because I would tend to tell the truth too intensely, or I would just become way too intense for people, and I didn't realize I was scaring them. And I kept getting this feedback of, well, I don't like conflict, and I feel like we're in conflict, and I don't want to be. And I didn't realize I was intimidating people. So maybe you're going through that. Maybe you're on the receiving end, and you don't like to be yelled at, and you don't like conflict. So either way, if you get angry and you have an outburst, you're going to have regret and guilt and remorse afterwards, and have to deal with sadness and guilt and shame that can cause anxiety and depression. Or if you're stuffing your emotions, you're going to have to deal with where they go. Because at least if you're blowing up at someone, you're carrying the guilt and the remorse, and you have to repair the damage, but it's not eating away at you. And I'd say if you're stuffing it, it's going to come out sideways. So it could manifest in an eating disorder, hoarding, overeating, overspending, drug and alcohol abuse, self-cutting or self-mutilation. There's a lot of places where anger and frustration and humiliation and shame hide. And we mask it with sadness and anxiety. So when you're trying to manifest, if you're manifesting from those places of frustration, anger, anxiety, depression, avoidance, procrastination, you're going to be manifesting more of the things you don't want. And you are going to have a very hard time getting to the place where you want to be. That's completely understandable. So basically, where I come in, my area of expertise, my personal experience that works for me on a daily basis, how I've overcome anxiety and depression, and how I've managed my anger and my frustration so that I can live in perpetual bliss. It is possible. And let me tell you how. This is how I do it. This is how I've gone from anxiety and depression to manifesting my bliss on a daily basis. It's balancing my emotional and mental well-being with my physical environment and the triggers that come at me on a daily basis. I do it in 5 steps, and I'm going to give you an example from my life that happened today, and I just used these steps. So a lot of videos about manifestation that I watch and people I follow who I admire and I learn from, To me, they're too general. I'm an advanced student. I've been studying this for over 10 years, and I get what they're trying to say, but even I had to figure out how to fill in the blanks. Like there were just gaps of learning where I was confused. Some one-on-one coaching later, some really supportive group collaboration. I'm a member of some really great manifestation groups. I highly recommend you join some. And if you're looking for one, I'm about to launch a channel, launch a collaborative school classroom so we can get on board over there and you could have access to my curriculum and my digital ebook. You can get a paper copy if you want, or just download the free digital copy. And the membership into this community is valuable. It is how you put yourself out there a little at a time and ask for help a little at a time. So for today, let's get right into it. We've got 5 easy steps for you to go from frustration, anxiety, and depression to bliss. It sounds easy. It's emotional, but it is easy. It's simple. Here we go. Step 1. You have to become aware of what you are saying in the moment, either in your own head or out loud to someone else. So if you are having a moment of frustration and anger or depression or anxiety, stop and think. That is the very first thing. You have to develop an awareness about what am I saying inside my head? What am I saying to myself and others? The others part is immaterial. People really aren't listening. They really don't care. They only care when it's about them. So if this moment is about you, you're going to have to find someone who's a true friend or a close family member or a therapist or someone in a support group or an online community that cares, like manifesting groups, to actually walk you through, or you can do it yourself. I have used all of the above, but becoming aware of what you are thinking and what you are saying and the tape that's going on in your head, it has to be step 1. You have to know what you are saying. So when I'm frustrated, I want to get all the facts. I want to research immediately. What are all the facts? Line them up, make sure I'm right. I dig in and I hold my stronghold of I'm rightness, okay, righteous indignation, and I'm going to annihilate the other side with factual information, and I'm going to make them understand my point of view, and they will listen. They will listen to me, okay? Now, this is a very aggressive stance, right? This is not helpful. Let's just put it this way. It's not helpful. So obviously, we need to do this in a better way. We need to soften our approach. So the first step is becoming aware of what's going on inside of us, and especially what words are we using? How are we framing this moment? Let's see. So I am framing it as I'm a victim. I've been taken advantage of. Someone is doing something nefarious and I have figured it out. I have lined up all my factual evidence and now I'm going to lawyer them. I'm going to lawyer them until they agree with me. And it's less about telling me I'm right and more about I need to be understood. Oh, there it is. You see, when you talk through it long enough, the answer percolates it just becomes very clear. You get through, okay, why am I angry? Where am I playing the victim? What's my responsibility? What am I really saying? Oh, I want to be understood. I feel misunderstood. Okay, now we've identified what we're really saying and what we're really feeling. I'm feeling misunderstood. Well, that's completely understandable. Everyone feels misunderstood at some point, and it will cause frustration. Now you're ready for step number 2. Step number 2 is you focus your attention on your feelings and feel them without talking about them, without judging them, without any interference. You just feel them for a solid minute. And if you need to stare at a clock or stare at a stopwatch or set a little 1-minute alarm, turn off your alerts, turn off the sound on your phone, and relax into that feeling. So if you've just thought about it and you are now conscious of your feelings, and you were just like, I'm really frustrated, I'm really angry. Why am I really angry? What am I doing? Wait a minute. I feel misunderstood. Now, if you need to sit in the anger for a minute, literally, it'll come to you. If you are already there because you've been listening to what you're saying inside your head, you'll get there. Okay, you're either getting there or you're there. But you need to sit still and feel that feeling. Feel it deeply. Go into it. Don't be afraid of it. Your answers lie within that feeling. Your heart is trying to tell you something. Your soul is trying to tell you something. So if your heart and your gut are in alignment and they're trying to get through to you and help you, words are getting in the way. That is mainly your problem. You're trying to use words when you need to be feeling something. You're putting that cart before the horse. Don't go to words yet. They're going to frustrate you and confuse you. So get into your feelings. Spend 1 solid minute with your feelings. And at the end of it, if you're not clear about what you're feeling, set that alarm again. Spend another minute there. You might start deep breathing. You might feel like pacing. You might have your skin crawling. You might want to throw something at a wall. Go deeper. Get down to the heart of what you're feeling. So for me, I am misunderstood. This person is listening to my words, but they are not understanding what I'm saying. I am miscommunicating. So I need to take a break, step back from this, and think about another way to communicate, because this isn't working. That's where I got to when I paid attention to my feelings. Step number 3 is the one that if you don't avoid step number 2, good, I'm impressed. If you haven't run away and started scrolling social media and you haven't turned to eating or drinking or to another person to start complaining again, if you are really sitting with your feelings and really going internal and deep, congratulations. You have overcome a major obstacle of manifestation. You are sitting still and feeling. Well done. The great I am is going to be very proud of you, because the great I am says, be still and know that I am. And that is the key to manifestation. It's the doorway. It's the portal. So once you go into your feelings and you know, I am. And at the moment, I am feeling misunderstood. Good. Now we can work with this. Now, you can write it down with a pen and paper, which is highly effective, and science and psychology say this is the best way to do it. Writing things down with pen and paper activates a certain part of your brain that's very healing, cathartic, and you remember things better, and you can kind of like manipulate the reality a little bit better when it's on paper with pen or pencil. If you type it out, you will get good results, but in the beginning, you might want that physical act of writing. It makes a huge difference. Now I'm to the point where I can type things out. I can even speak things into a recorder and get the same results. But when I first started, I took advice that worked, and it was put pen to paper. Write it down. When you write it down, you have control over it. Now it's out of your head, out of your body, and on a piece of paper you can look at. And so you've just written down everything you've felt. You can start with a complaint. You can write down all the facts. Or if you have gone into that feeling, you can go to where that feeling leads you, which is, I feel powerless and stupid. This person is treating me like an idiot. I hate when people do this. I've hated it since I was a child. I don't like being demeaned. I don't like being looked down upon. I don't like being made to feel stupid or powerless. And it's making me feel very frustrated, and I don't feel heard, and I don't feel understood. So that is what I wrote down. And I got very clear about what I was feeling and why I was feeling it. Now it makes sense to me. Now I have control over it. Now I can make some decisions. So step 4 is you have to think about what would make you calm instead of what just made you angry. So now we're going to practice a key to manifestation, which is rewriting that script and reimagining what just happened, but with a better outcome, where you get what you want. You just reimagine it. And you have to start from a calm place, not a happy place, not a good, positive place. No, you just have to start from calm, just neutral. All we're trying to get you is out of the bottom rungs of emotion, which is humiliation, shame, regret, and guilt. Then we've raised your frequency to frustration and anger, which is good because that's an action. And now we got to get you to neutral calm before we can get you up to the more hopeful levels of manifestation and bliss. So at least you're not dwelling in self-pity and laying in bed moping. And a good cry is okay. If a good cry comes up, don't judge it. That's different than moping. Good cry is a feeling that passes, and then you're like, "Ooh, I feel so much better. That was a good cry." Versus beating myself up, moping around, being really sad and making excuses. Okay, it's more of an Eeyore kind of thing. Don't do that. That is not what we're doing here. Get back to frustrated. Get back to angry if you have to. But you've got to get some momentum here. You got to get some energy going in the right direction to get through that energy and then into cathartic release and calm. Ride that wave. Crest that anger wave into calm. Now that you're calm, you can visualize, what was it that I really wanted out of that conflict? What was it that made me frustrated, and how would I get it now that I'm calm if I had it to do over again? And practice that in your mind. It matters. You are in control of the universe inside yourself. And it has huge effects on what's outside of you. Okay? So it matters. Hey, we have someone joining us today. I'm doing great. Mate, where are you from? We're just talking about manifesting, and we were getting to step 5, which is you have to think of one nano action, a step that you can take right now to help yourself feel calm and get yourself into a better state of being. Wow, Ozzy, excellent. I'm hoping you're into manifestation. That's what we're talking about today. If you have a specific question or an issue you're dealing with, I would love to help you. The topic today is how to go from frustration and anger to manifesting your bliss. And I'm just taking everybody through the 5 easy steps to get from either anxiety and depression, shame and guilt, which is at the bottom of the emotional level, or we go up to frustration and anger, which is at least more taking action, but it's not going to get what you want, and then go up into the higher levels of manifestation and manifesting. So I was just to recap. Step 1 is to become aware of what you are thinking inside your head. Either you're saying it out loud because you're angry or you're thinking it. 2 is to focus your attentions on your feeling and spend at least 1 minute just feeling those feelings. If you need more time, do it. And then write them down. Write down those feelings, see what we're dealing with, and we're going to get from upset to calm. That's our first goal, is just writing until we feel better and thinking about what action would make us feel better, getting into a state of calm, focus. And then step 5 is thinking of one nano action. I'm not even talking micro action. I'm talking like small action, micro action, and nano action. One teeny tiny little step that you can take that doesn't make you feel overwhelmed, that you can take in the right direction to sustain that calm feeling. So you say you're never got into manifesting mainly doing Buddhist and Hindu. You know, that's where I started. I grew up from age 8 to age 13 in Hawaii, and everyone is Buddhist, and my friends taught me about Buddhism. And then in college, and I studied Hinduism, but more as book learning. And then in college, I had Hindu friends, so they took me to their temples and I learned how to meditate in a different style. So I have some Buddhism, some Hinduism, some Taoism in my past, in my repertoire, and I brought it all back through into modern Christianity. They're all connected. All of religion is one, and it doesn't matter which one you participate in or how you want to worship. You're going to come back to the same conclusions, the same truths. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You're awesome too. Anyone who is looking inward and trying to manifest calm, peaceful feelings on this planet is doing the right thing. We're all in this together. So, for sure, as many faiths, so many paths. It's true. It is absolutely true. It is whichever path you walk, you're going to get to the same place, which is self discovery. The great I am is available for everyone. The great I am, we have a misconception that Buddhism understands, but Christianity is starting to wake up to that the name of is Jesus that people like to worship and talk about, but that is actually a sentence. Jesus is not a name, it's a sentence. And if you study any kind of Latin language, Spanish, French, anything that's a Latin base, you're going to understand that Jesus, J-E space S-U-S, Jesus is I am. It's very simple. It just means I am. And people have taken it into a personification, which is great. I mean, metaphor is great. Analogy is great. A story is great. A favorite character is great. And a lot of people want to prove the existence of Jesus and they get very wrapped up in that instead of just accepting that we can all manifest. We have the power of the great I am of source within us. And I think Buddhism and Hinduism really understand that that's where all of our power comes from and what connects us to one another. So we have source within us and we have source connecting everything in the universe. You know, Star Wars, of course, says it best. The force is in us, out us, around us. It's everything, right? And I grew up with loving Star Wars just like everybody else. So I think that when you combine Buddhism and Hinduism and Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, you know, you come together in this one great idea of I do have the power to change the way I look at things and the way I experience the world and the way I feel. And I do have control over how my life manifests. So manifestation for me is very practical, it's very down to earth, and it just feels like something that everyone can do. And everyone does it on a daily basis, but they're not always conscious of it. They're not always doing it with purpose or with focused attention. So that's basically what my channel is about. It's helping people to focus their attention on whatever goal they have in front of them at that moment in order to have a more successful whatever, more successful love life or career or health. And there's only three major things that anyone wants to manifest or have balance. And either you're suffering from a lack of health and you want better health, or you don't have the love of your life in your life yet and you want that partnership, or you want to manifest a really fun career and have a lot of money, and there's stuff you want to do, not just want to buy. A lot of people want experiences nowadays rather than a bunch of stuff. So yes, says God has become all this. Exactly. Yes, Ramana Krishna, absolutely. There are some very beautiful mantras that I'll do during meditations, and yep, that one in particular, and a couple others that I'm thinking of right now, that through the meditation and through the sound like Om and others like that, it's meditative and it gets you into a wonderful trance-like state. And that when you get into that kind of lucid trance-like moment of breaking down your conscious into your subconscious, and you get into that lucid subconscious kind of feeling, that's where you can rewrite your belief system. And that's why taking micro action or nano action for someone who's really depressed or really in the throes of anxiety to the point where they're a little bit paralyzed, they can't take action. This happens with hoarding and cluttering. It happens with depression. And then people might mask it with drugs or alcohol or compulsive behaviors. So when we want to move away from those things, it's very scary to stop relying on the tricks we've used and the habits we've made. So it's better if we start to shift slowly. And what I've learned is over the past 3 years of doing this full time, and the last year of really concentrating my efforts to move myself past out of depression and through anxiety to a place where I can live calm and centered every moment of every day. These are the tricks that work for me. These are the steps I take. So today I got on the phone. I own a restaurant and I needed my supplier, my vendor, to work with me on a bill because some things had happened that were not my fault. they were the responsibility of that vendor. And that vendor and I had a miscommunication. So we went back and forth. I got frustrated. I remained calm. And at some point, because I focused on what am I saying, how am I saying it, if I'm being misunderstood, I need to rephrase myself. I need to slow down and have compassion for this other person, look at it from their point of view. What do they need? Not what do I need in this moment? I know what I need, but what do they need to understand me? Because I'm being misunderstood. So I did these 5 steps very quickly because I'm very practiced at these 5 steps. But inevitably, when you're starting out, it's going to take stepping away from the moment and coming back to it. But I was on the phone in the moment, handling my business and saying, what does this person need to understand me? And I got very focused on my feelings, very focused on what the other person needed. And then I said the right thing. Magically, just came out of my mouth. And then all of a sudden, we had agreement. And then I got what I wanted. And I was like, whoa, that was awesome. We both got what we wanted. This is great. So when I went to give it to that other person, which was to make sure I understood what that other person was feeling and what that other person was saying, suddenly they could understand me. So St. Francis of Assisi, and a bunch of other Christian things say, seek not to be understood, but seek to understand. That's the first and foremost. So yes. And let's see what you're saying. I guess manifesting for me, hard to parse out what's manifesting and what isn't, but I use the sankalpas and the resolves in yoga, the nidra, like stating a goal, but I'm generally wary of getting more tangled in worldliness. Yes, well said. There's also that tension of the craving to become something. Oh, you are so in this. You're in the right place. This is a great conversation. Thank you for joining me. Yes, this dynamic tension that happens when you have a desire, you have a want, and you're pushing your agenda, and it creates more friction. It creates more conflict. It creates more resistance. And when I was in frustration and I'm angry and I'm pushing and pushing and pushing, I'm not going to get what I want. It's not until I lay down the sword. It's not until I stop the fight and I give up, I surrender, and then I allow the other person to have their say, to be acknowledged. And then in that moment, we come to an understanding. So the craving of becoming is never going to leave us. That is a part of being human. We are creators. We are creative beings. We want to play. We want to collaborate. We want to have fun. We want to be friends with people. We want to do fun things with people. And yes, we have our alone time and our, I get that. But generally speaking, we're social creatures and we want to be having fun with other people. So that craving of, I want to be more, I want to do more, I want to experience more, that's completely natural. It's never going away. But it can be managed. It can be relaxed. You don't have to have everything right now. You don't have to do everything on your list right this second. And I used to feel that way. I used to feel like I was always in a hurry to get somewhere. And when I'd get there, I would be disappointed. I'm like, I thought this was the place where I have arrived at the top of the mountain and all my problems are supposed to be solved. And my life is supposed to be perfect now. And now I've lived long enough and done this long enough to know that doesn't happen. That is not how it works at all. There's never going to be a moment when I am done. Well, maybe there will be, but that's called death. So when I transition to whatever is beyond this earthly form, then I'm going to find out what lies on the next plane of existence, the next challenge, the next step. So no, I don't think it ever stops. I think we just transform, and it stops looking like this, whatever this worldliness is, and it starts looking like something else. So I might as well get in touch with that energy that I am, the eternal me, connected to the eternal source of everything that is. I might as well start that now and not wait until after I'm dead, because I'll miss opportunities while I'm in this earthly form, and I'll miss out on other people who I could be really enjoying, like this wonderful conversation I'm having right now. So thank you for being a part of my chat today, my stream today. I hope you'll subscribe and get alerts and come back when I'm online again. And this was a lot of fun. So Dom Rocks Music, you do rock. You totally rock. Thank you. Much love to you. And from Hawaii, shaka. So a big mahalo to you. So yeah, anytime. Oh, thank you. So anytime you want to come on here and chat, if you see me on here, please say hello. Feel free to say hello. And I'm just going to go over the tip for the day one more time. And that is to step one, become aware of what you are saying in your own head. Start listening to yourself and becoming aware of the words you're using. We're going to get into, in another lesson, the power of your choice of words. Your choices matter. And whatever words you're hearing inside your head, whatever words are coming out of your mouth, the word is law, the word is power. So in the beginning, there was only the word, right? There was light and there was word, and that's how you manifest. So the light of beingness is within all of us, and our words matter. So we're going to explore that topic in the near future. But for today, I just want you to become aware of your words, aware of your thoughts, aware of your feelings, aware of where you stand in this world and how you're coming across. And for me, my lesson today, I was coming across too aggressive and I was pushing my agenda and I was not slowing down to hear the other person and understand their point of view. So, second thing that I needed to do was put all my attention on my feelings so I could slow down and I could understand what I'm doing and what I'm feeling and why I'm feeling it. And then step three, I wrote down how I was feeling real quick and took a look at it on paper. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what I'm doing wrong here. And then reframe and go back to the conversation in a calm, steady, manageable way. So when you are first trying this, you need to finish the conversation and step away from the fight, step away from the conflict, and do this in private where you can get calm, where you can focus on your feelings, you can write things down, you can feel a sense of calmness and recenter. That is the biggest thing for you to do, is recentering. And then decide one nano action that's going to take you from frustrated and angry. Now you're at calm. Can you be grateful? Can you write down one thing you're grateful for? Can you be hopeful about a better outcome and have a little faith about reimagining how that fight went and then changing something you said, something they said, and getting to a better conclusion that where both people feel validated and get what they need. Now, I've been doing this for a while, so while I was on the phone having the fight, I stopped. I checked in with myself. I was listening to what I was saying. I calmed myself down immediately. I asked better questions. I listened to the other person. And then magic happened. And we both realized at the same time, that's our solution. That is a fair middle ground. We're going to meet each other in the middle. We're never going to truly agree on if we wrote down all the facts. His facts and my fact sheet would look very different. But it doesn't matter. Once I threw that away and I was like, I don't care. I just want a solution. I just want to make this guy happy so that we can come to a better resolution. That was when I cared about him more than me, when I cared about his happiness more than mine, when I cared about understanding where he was coming from and finding a solution for both of us. When I shifted, that's when the solution presented itself. So that is the key for me to manifesting what I want in life, to have beautiful outcomes. The key to me is that moment of understanding where I shift and I start to give to other people what it is that I am craving and desiring and needing and wanting. Because if I stay in that feeling of desperation, I'm going to fight to the death for it. And I'm not going to get it. But if I can surrender it and let it go, that is when the other person's going to give it to me. It's like those little finger cuffs. The harder you pull, the more trapped you are. But if you relax, just push your fingers together. Oh, look at that. Slips right off. That's the best metaphor I've ever thought of, is like, I have put myself in a finger cuff. This is not fun. A vice grip and it seizes you. Anger, frustration, It's demoralizing. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. You feel like a victim. You feel like you're losing. You feel like someone or something is taking something from you, and you want it back. You want to even that score. You want to make sure you get yours. You want to protect yourself. There's a lot of ego involved in that. If I see, I'm saying it out loud. I'm saying how it feels to be angry out loud, and now I can look at it. Well, I can see that my ego is all over this. I have an agenda I'm running. I have a point to prove. I need something or want something and I need it to go my way. I have that craving, that desire that sometimes when it's, oh, I feel like writing a book or painting a painting or having a fun dinner party. Those are great things. Those are great, like, desires or cravings, right? But if it gets into, I really want this person to bow down to me and acknowledge how right I am and do everything I say, ooh, that's a lot of ego. We're going to have to let that go. We're going to have some compassion. Empathy is a slippery slope. Maybe we don't want to go that far. Maybe we just want compassion and kindness in that moment. And that's highly effective. So I hope that I have been helpful today. I hope that something that I've shared with you, you can take it and make it yours and do something great with it. That's what I'm here for. I'm excited right now. I'm finishing a book that I've been working on for a while. It is coming together beautifully, and I'm really happy about that. I'm hoping to have that launch in the next week, and I'm getting my curriculum together. I'm going to be putting out some feelers to see if people want to be a part of a little workshop I want to run, and it's exactly what we're doing here. It's just taking a goal that people have, and they might be feeling stuck, or they're stuck in depression. Their life is being ruined by anxiety. Maybe they're suffering from cluttering or hoarding, maybe compulsive habits or compulsive thoughts. And we need to slow all that down and take it step by step through those levels to maybe some bliss. I know that realistically people think, well, I can get out of depression and out of anxiety. Yes, you can. And there are very actionable steps we can go through to get you there. And yes, you can be happy and you can manifest your bliss. You can then manifest anything you want from your feelings of happiness and gratitude and bliss. But I have found that the key to manifestation is your feelings. Any given moment, what are you feeling? And that dictates your thoughts and your actions. So if your feeling is dysregulated, if your emotions are dysregulated, that means your mind is dysregulated, your actions are dysregulated, and those have ripple effects that will show up all over your life. So I am documenting how after 2 people close to me passed away, and I inherited a bunch of belongings out of other people's homes and a storage unit, actually a storage unit and a storage shed. Everything filled up my garage and my home, and I don't have any spare space. And I felt claustrophobic and swallowed whole by stuff. It was just everywhere. And I do have a history of hoarding, which I have overcome because it's anxiety. The way I handled trauma and triggers and anxiety was to hoard. And I've been through all that, and I don't do that anymore. My house has been very clean and organized for a very long time. So having all this stuff all of a sudden come into my life and overwhelm me, it set me back. I was like, this is like 5-10 years ago stuff. This is not me now stuff. And it all came screaming back. And I was just like, whoa, I need to do something positive with this. If I'm suffering this way, other people are suffering this way, and I can help. And also from my autism, my neurodivergency, I get overstimulated, and I get angry too easily. I get frustrated too easily. And I used to get scared too easily. And that was fueling the anxiety and the hoarding. And so you can see there was like a cycle. And since I have successfully gotten out of depression and overcome my hoarding habits, and I have just recently broken through my anxiety into this whole new world of handling my feelings and handling my day and handling things that scare me on my list, my to-do list. I don't procrastinate anymore. and I'm not intimidated anymore, and I'm not scared anymore. I don't live my life with that horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach and my legs going numb out of sheer terror. I don't lay in bed at night staring at the ceiling thinking of all the horrible things that could go wrong in my life when I wake up in the morning, and all the terrors that are going to come at me, and the people who are going to yell at me, and the things I have to do, and how all of it's going to go wrong. That was me a year ago, 6 months ago, even I'll be honest, 3 months ago. I was still having episodes and I couldn't get it consistent. But something recent happened. It was a mega breakthrough, and that is when everything shifted, and my book took on a new shape, a new form. It was the breakthrough I needed, and it is why I started going full into Twitch stream and YouTube and sharing what I am learning with everyone else, because I really feel this is valuable and necessary. We are living in tumultuous, scary times. And if you allow the outside world to get into you and make you feel bad and make you feel scared, then bad things are going to happen. So being aware of the world, not sticking your head in the sand, not ignoring it. I'm aware of what's going on. I read the headlines, I listen to things, I hear what people are saying. I just have learned how to disengage and allow and be neutral. And it's really radical. It's freaked my friends and family out, but now they're all doing it because it feels so much better. It feels so much better to care in a neutral way than to allow all this stuff, all this energy to infect you like a disease, and then you're suffering from it. So instead, I'm putting up my shields, I'm processing things in a healthy way, and I'm helping my friends who are like friend client or client friend. I don't know. You always start with the people in your inner circle. So I started helping some friends, and you can call them a friend, you can call them a client. I call them both, but I'm helping people manifest the life of their dreams, and I'm helping them through their depression and their anxiety. I'm helping one of my friends manifesting from illness to health, and I'm watching it happen, and from struggling in her career to owning her own business, and I'm coaching her through that. And another one is suffering from anxiety and a bit of agoraphobia and low self-esteem, and we're working through those issues. So everyone has a place where they might be feeling insecure or less than or frustrated, and we're gonna totally, oh, great question, we're gonna totally address those issues. Okay, Dom Rocks Music, you have a question. How does manifestation relate to karma? They seem related. This is a fantastic question. I get asked this a lot, and it's in my manifestation group because one of our members is Hindu, and he believes in karma through and through. And karma can get very complicated as far as the levels of like how many lives you've lived, what you're doing in your current life to attract new positive or negative karma, to burn off and work your way through the old and neutralize and burn off the negative karma. So manifestation is the action element that can neutralize your negative karma and bring it into balance and well-being, because if you are too prideful about your good karma, you'll get knocked down. And if you're too upset and you play the victim about whatever negative karma is due to your own actions, and you need to take responsibility, then that keeps you stuck. So we need to take responsibility, stop playing the victim, and say, yep, it's all my fault. I am here in this moment because of me. And it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 past lives or this one right now. This is where I'm at because of the choices I've made and the actions I've taken. So I have to take full responsibility right here in this moment if I think anything is going to change in the future. My husband has a great philosophy about karma. He doesn't believe in good and bad the way that people think of it. Like, I did something good and therefore I get good karma. And I did something bad and therefore I racked up bad karma. It's different than that. And if you really study karma, you know that. That's an oversimplification of what karma is. What it is my intention caused me to act a certain way, and it resulted in a consequence. And am I willing to take responsibility for that end action, that consequence that has ramifications for me and other people? And if I have caused harm, that is what I'm responsible for. And if I have caused other people to have something good happen for them, if I've been a part of their healing, and they get what they want and they need, and I'm a part of that. I'm balancing my energy, so I'm not causing any more harm. I'm focusing on healing. So I like to think of it as harm or healing instead of good or bad. And what are you saying? They seem really, it just mean that if karma is my state of mind, reinforcing themselves using actions, isn't that like manifesting? Yes, it is. You absolutely get it. That is exactly what it is. So karma is a state of mind, and it is connected to your feelings, and your feelings are your guide, and your mind discerns your feelings and tries to make sense of what the information that it's getting. It's receiving this information from your soul and from source and your feelings. It's filtered through, and then your mind tries to make sense of it. So that's why I always emphasize listening to the words you're using, paying attention to your feelings, coming back to the breath. And that's why meditation, mantras, and yoga are so helpful. I've studied yoga for years, and it's really helpful. And have you heard that Zen story of a king going to a master and saying, look at all these things, these good things that I've done, and did it not give me good karma? And the master said it had no effect because the king acted, he was trying to have gain for himself. Absolutely, yet. Yes, the state of mind of the king, the action didn't matter. You're getting into some advanced stuff, which I love. That is called intention. So when you take a frame of mind and you turn it and you have an intention behind it, that is what sets your karma in motion. Or for us to use manifestation, that is what sets manifestation into motion. It is always your intention. And no one but you and source knows what your intention is. So if you have an intention of giving to others, helping others, healing, helping to heal others and yourself, heal the planet and yourself, that vibration, that frequency resonates, and it's very attractive. If you have a greedy intention or a harmful intention, that will resonate with other people, and you might attract trouble. You might attract some bad people, bad things. You might attract what you don't want because you're focusing your intention on something that is very selfish. There's good selfish and bad selfish. And in future episodes, we'll get into good selfish versus bad selfish. But specifically, intentional, I'm trying to harm others is, well, how you rock your karma. It's not a good thing to do, but sometimes it's necessary. And even see, we're getting into way deeper stuff about like, well, if in a moment I need to defend myself and I cause harm to someone else, is that okay? Probably yes. There's probably, if an intention is coming at you and you need to neutralize that intention, that's probably okay. But I'm talking about like, I'm just sitting here and I'm plotting against someone and I want to do them harm. Probably not the best idea. Probably not good. Probably need to work through those feelings. This is one meditation teacher said that magic is just consciousness plus intention. It's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. That's what I've experienced my whole life. I totally agree that magic, the magic of the universe, the magic of life, the magic of source, the magic of manifestation is when you are fully conscious. Your consciousness is active and you're aware of it and you're in tune with it. And then you add your intention to it. And that gives it a direction. So you're always manifesting, you're always creating, your consciousness is always active. You're not always aware of your subconscious behavior or thoughts or belief, or you're not always aware of it. And what I'm asking you to do is become aware of it. Let it bubble up to the surface. Let yourself understand yourself better. And then you can add an intention to it, and that creates momentum. That creates the push that you need. That creates a ripple effect, and other people are going to be drawn to you because they will have the same intention as you. And source knows this. So there's inner intention and outer intention, and the universe is just a matchmaking service. And so you and I have the same internal intention, and so you were attracted to my channel and what I'm saying here. And we're having this great conversation because we are in obvious alignment. Both of us have an internal intention of being peaceful and calm and providing help or healing to others. Otherwise, we'd be off doing something else because our intention would be taking us in that direction. And we'd be off doing something maybe nefarious if that was our intention. We would meet people who are like-minded and getting into trouble. But instead, we're here exploring our subconscious and becoming conscious of it. And the intention is healing and manifesting our bliss for other people and for ourselves. So we're here to give, and then we will receive. So the number one thing I've learned is when I was being selfish, I was all in for myself. I was trying to manifest for myself, and I was doing it for my family so that we would be in a better position in life, but more comfortable, more secure. But I had it backwards. So another part of manifesting, which is something I talk about in my book and in my curriculum and workshop and in future episodes, is the fact that, again, cart before the horse. I was not intentionally trying to feel secure and then manifest from that security. I was expecting the universe to somehow give me something from the outside to put in me that would then make me feel secure. Make me feel secure, universe. I demand it, that you make me feel secure. Give me something that will make me feel secure. It doesn't work that way. I can be a petulant little toddler, for a while and throw a little fit, and I'm not going to get what I want. Or I can accept my reality and go into my own sense of connection with source, where all my security and love live. That's where everything manifests from. And the more I am in touch with it, the more I can manifest what I want. But getting through all the layers of anxiety and depression and excuses and frustration and procrastination and terror, that was the real work. And that's what I really want to share about. I think a lot of people who talk about manifestation are already successful and already at the end, and they forgot what it was like at the beginning. So they're like, well, fill in the blanks. It'll come to you. Just keep meditating. And that can be very frustrating, and people can give up before the miracle happens for them. And so I don't want that for you. I want you to stick with it and take little nano action after nano action, and it creates momentum. So let's see right here. Let me catch up with what you're saying. Have you read Bhakti? Yes. The best I've found for getting bliss. Oh, yes. Of course, you can do a technique for love or calm or whatever, but Bhakti seems to be the one for bliss. Oh, very good. I'm going to actually go and do a little more research on that because you've reminded me. I totally blanked on, I was like, oh, I haven't seen that word in a while. It's like all rushing back to me. I'm like, ooh, yes. So thank you so much for being here with me today and for giving me that insight. I absolutely am going to go do my homework and a little bit of spiritual work and come back with that answer. That's absolutely, yes. You are correct. I need to go back to Bhakti for Bliss. Absolutely. Well, I have to, of course, thank you. You're so sweet. I hope you can come back and visit with me again. I'm going to pop back on here at the same time tomorrow. 4 p.m. Central American time. So wherever you guys are in the world, we can meet here again at 4 p.m. on April 30th. And we can go from 4 to 5 and we can say hello again. I am going to go to my son's play. He is a senior in high school this year, and this is his last play of the year. I'm so proud of him, so happy for him. And we got tickets, and we're going to go over and enjoy a school play. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you tomorrow if you can join me. Today is Tuesday, and I'm going to try and thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. This is a lot of fun, and the more people I have to come here and play, the better it gets. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for becoming a follower and for viewing and participating. This has been fantastic. And yes, such a nice chat. Thank you. I really appreciate you being here. And if you have time throughout the week, come on back, 4 p.m. Central American time, and we'll do it again. And if you miss me for whatever reason, it'll be here on Twitch, and I post to YouTube under the same Manifest Bliss. So thank you so much. And until next time, be well. Bye. And now I got to go to my little stop streaming. Take care, everybody. Bye. Thanks for being here. Much love.